Lots of situations make us feel afraid. Could be a global pandemic. It could be waiting for a doctor to give us the results of a test. It could be a near miss when you're driving your car, almost getting into an accident. It could be the conversation with your boss or with your significant other. Many, many things make us afraid. People are afraid of getting on stage and speaking. People are afraid of death. People are afraid of heights. But the thing is that we need to learn how to have perspective when we are afraid, because fear tends to cause us to see, have narrow vision, like having blinders on. We lose our perspective and we don't see the options that are out there, options that might be viable, that might provide opportunities. We also are so stuck in fear that we can't see beyond what's right in front of us. And that prevents us, again, from seeing the bigger picture and things that might be super important to us, but we're missing them because we're afraid. So I'd like to lead you through a meditation that will help you learn how to step back from fear so that you can see what's around you, so that you can realize the wonder of every situation and notice the opportunities that are there for you. And I hope you're going to find this meditation useful. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is just find a comfortable spot, sit down nice, comfortable, and take a couple deep breaths. Close your eyes. I'm sitting outside, so I hope you're going to hear the wild turkeys in the background and the chime and the winds and the bird. Occasionally a car, I apologize for that. But I hope that you're going to hear some nice nature sounds to help you relax and settle into this meditation. So take 3 deep breaths, diaphragmatic breaths, meaning from your tummy, not your chest. Okay, so breathe in through your nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through your mouth. Again, get comfortable, feet on the floor, legs uncrossed, hands uncrossed. Again, one more deep breath. And with your eyes closed, just follow along with this visualization. Breathe normally as you follow along. Imagine yourself hiking up a mountain. You've been told that there is an awesome view, a panoramic view, when you reach the summit. And so you want to see this view. And so you're hiking up the mountain. And as you hike, you sometimes look at your feet, you sometimes look at the sky, you look at the trees and the birds and the brook that's flowing along the side of the path. And you keep hiking up to the summit. And you just can't wait to see the view. So you continue hiking up the path, and as you get closer and closer to the summit, you begin to get more and more excited. You can almost see the view in your mind, but you just can't wait to see what it's really like. You're visualizing it, but you want to see the real thing. And your excitement's building, and you can feel your heart pounding, not just from the exertion, but from the excitement. And as you approach the last stretch of the path that leads to the summit, you can see that it gets a little steeper, but you can kind of see where it ends, where the path is going to end, and you're going to end up on a plateau, on a cliff, where you can see this panoramic view. You keep walking and hiking and going up until you make those last steps, and they're quite steep. Somebody's kind of dug steps into the dirt, and you take the steps and you come out on the summit, on the cliff. And you take 1 or 2 steps forward and you look around. You look to your left, to your right, ahead of you. You allow your neck to just swivel as you take in this awe-inspiring view. And it's really so amazing, more amazing than you could have imagined, more gorgeous than what you visualized. And you want to see it better, so you need to walk forward a little bit. So you take another 2, 3, 4, 5 steps forward till you're about in the middle of this summit. And from that middle position, you look again to the left and to the right and ahead of you and in between. And you see this amazing view. You take a deep breath. And you just feel the awe of this experience, the awe of the beauty of what God has created. It's amazing. But again, you want to see it a little more closely. And so you begin to take some more steps towards the edge of this cliff. The summit, as I said, it's a flat place like a cliff. And you take another few steps closer, and you notice that your heart is again beating, but this time not with excitement. It's starting to beat in a little bit of trepidation. And you don't feel as comfortable looking to the left or the right. You're looking straight ahead, but a little bit down. And somebody says to you, you should go a little closer. It's a better view when you get closer. And you nod, and you take a deep breath. This time, a breath that's building courage. And you take another step and another step until your toes are on the edge of the cliff, on the very edge, and a little pebble drops. And you try not to look over the edge because that's just too scary. Matter of fact, at this point, you're feeling quite terrified because it's a long way down. That little pebble, you couldn't even hear it drop. And all you really can look at are the toes of your shoes at the edge of the cliff. You can't get yourself to look up or look left or look right. Matter of fact, you don't see this panoramic view at all. You don't even see one little section of the view. All you're looking at are your feet. And you try to raise your eyes, but you just can't. And your heart is pounding in your chest, and you're petrified, and you cannot see anything but your feet. A very different experience than what you had when you first went up onto the cliff, first reached the summit. So you're standing there and your heart is pounding and your heart is in your throat and all you see are your feet. You don't see anything else. So in order to relieve this feeling, this anxiety and terror, you step back. Matter of fact, I want you to visualize yourself stepping back 3 steps, 3 big steps backwards. You bring your feet together. And now, suddenly, notice that you can lift your eyes a little bit so that you can see the horizon in front of you. And your heart has stopped beating a little bit. It stopped beating quite so fast and so hard in your chest. And you take a breath. That was tough. But you're feeling better. Your heart's starting to beat more normally. And you look around a little bit more. And you decide maybe you want to move back a little bit farther, just in case, you don't want anything to happen and you fall forward. So you take another 3 steps backwards, almost to the middle of this summit. And you take another deep breath, and you look around. Now you can see the panoramic view again, and you're beginning again to get that sense of awe and wonder for God's creation. You decide you'll take maybe 2 steps farther back, feel just a little bit more comfortable. And when you do that, you're able to look around not just at the view, but at the other people who are there, and at the path that you came up. And you look over to your right and you notice there's another path. There's another summit. You haven't even gotten to the summit. You only got to one summit, one cliff. And actually there are a couple choices of paths. You can go straight up to the next summit, or you can take the meandering path that goes by a waterfall. You can take a different path down than the one you took up. You have choices, and you didn't even notice them. When you first got up there, you were so excited and so in awe that you actually didn't look at anything except the view. And as you got closer to the edge of the cliff, all you could see were your feet, because you were so scared, too scared to look up at what was around you, too scared to turn and notice the other paths. But from where you stand now, farther away from the cliff's edge, you have perspective. You can see all the different paths. Matter of fact, you feel more comfortable and you take a few steps forward again, closer to the edge. And now you can still see the whole panoramic view and feel your awe for that. Feel your amazement at its beauty. But you can also turn and see the paths, see your choices, see your opportunities to go see the waterfall, and still to hike farther up and get a better view, or to go straight to the next summit, or to turn around and go back down the path you came, or a different path. Fear limits our view, limits our perspective. When you're at the edge of the cliff, all you can see are your feet because you're so afraid. But when you step back from the edge, step back away from that fear just a little, you begin to see the options, the opportunities. And you then can decide how you want to respond to the situation, what you want to do next. You can make decisions. So take another deep breath. And ask yourself, which path do you want to take now? Which path will you choose? And once you know how you will move forward, how you will continue your journey, I want you to take 3 deep breaths. And as you take those deep breaths, I want you to just remember that when you feel afraid of anything, when you feel afraid of anything, you can step back from that fear and gain perspective. I want you to remember that when you're the most terrified, you have the ability to step back away from whatever is causing you terror, even if it's just in your mind, to step back away and to look around, to see your options, to see your opportunities, and to make some choices from a place of awe and courage. That's when you can take bold action. So take one more deep breath. Open your eyes. I hope you found this meditation helpful, and I hope that you will use it whenever you feel afraid, whether it's right now, whether it's in the future. And share it with the people you know who are struggling with fear and not seeing any options or opportunities and not feeling like they can find a way to act boldly, to be courageous in the face of fear. Thanks so much. Go out there and be courageous and achieve inspired results.